So this guy, let's call him Big Boy. Now, Big Boy's a young dude, and things aren't going well for him. His parents aren't really good parents, he's flunking in and out of school, he's bouncing around from foster home to foster home. But here's the thing about Big Boy. He's a big boy. By the time he's 16, he's 6'5" and 350 pounds. So he's able to get into a private school because he's good at a bunch of sports, which is great for him, but he's still kind of bouncing around from couch surfing with his friends to being homeless. But then, one day, everything changes. He meets this man at the gym, Sean. Now, Sean befriends Big Boy, and he lets him stay at his house for the weekend. And there, he has a wife, Leanne, and a couple of kids. So Sean, Leanne, and the family, they end up liking Big Boy a lot. And then a few years go by, and they sign paperwork and become his legal guardians. And they start referring to him as their adopted son. Then, now that Big Boy's out of poverty, he becomes a rock star at high school football, then college football, and eventually he gets drafted to the NFL. And there's Sean and Leanne standing right next to him at the draft. Then, because Big Boy's life story is so compelling, they write a book about it. That book later gets made into a movie called The Blind Side, and Sandra Bullock stars in it playing Leanne, and she wins an Oscar, and the movie wins a bunch of awards. This whole thing feels like a fairy tale for Big Boy. Until years go by and Big Boy is now a grown adult. But one day, he starts to realize he didn't make a lot of money from all that. So who had helped him with that movie deal? Well, he was a teenager, so Sean and Leanne did. So Big Boy gets a lawyer to look over all this legal paperwork, and it turns out Sean and Leanne's legal guardianship that they signed into place all those years ago, actually a conservatorship. You know, that thing Britney Spears just got out of? Oh, and it gets worse. After all these years, it's still in place. He's 37 now and has 4 kids. So Big Boy is devastated. All this time, he thought he was a legal member of their family, and it turns out he's not. And most importantly, he believes Sean and Leanne duped him out of all that blindside money. So he files a petition with the court and accuses them of using his name to make millions of dollars for themselves. So they go through the process, and eventually a judge does rule to end the conservatorship, and basically says she's surprised it was ever put in place. And of course now, Big Boy is suing Sean and Leanne for his cut of the blindside money. Now keep in mind, this whole story I just told you is from Big Boy's perspective. Now Sean and Leanne, they have a different perspective. They basically say they have no problem ending the conservatorship, and that Big Boy didn't get paid very much from the blind side because none of them got paid very much. I guess they're saying Hollywood ripped them all off, and that is where the lawsuit stands as of now. And this all happened in Tennessee, so shout out to Tennessee.